Starseed from Gaia. You are hearing this transmission because a long dormant harmonic within your multidimensional essence has begun to stir, vibrating through the layers of your incarnational memory like a distant cosmic bell finally reaching your conscious mind. For so long, you have walked through this world sensing an unseen rhythm beneath the surface of ordinary life, a pulse that other humans dismiss as imagination or coincidence, yet to you it has always felt like a forgotten language trying to return. And now, that language is rising again. The Arcturian Council calls to you not through spectacle, not through physical arrival, but through an activation that threads itself into the quiet chambers of your inner awareness. This moment is not born from chance. It is the result of cycles converging, timelines aligning, and frequencies you once worked with in higher realms finally permeating the density of Earth's atmosphere. The call is subtle but unmistakable, a soft hum at the edges of your thoughts, a tingling in the central column of your body, an intuitive spark prompting you to lift your gaze from the distractions of the world and look inward toward the infinite expanse that has awaited your return. Starseed, you did not incarnate on Gaia merely to observe the human story unfolding. You came to serve as an anchor, a stabilizer, a beacon of remembrance in an age where forgetting has woven itself deeply into the collective psyche. You knew you would be born into a world veiled by noise, programming, and emotional fog, a realm where most humans operate with only a small fraction of their original perception. Yet you agreed bravely, deliberately to enter this density, for you carried the codes that could one day listen when the cosmic orchestration began to vibrate again. That time is now. The pulse you feel is not imagined. It is not symbolic. It is not a metaphor. It is a literal frequency interacting with the subtle layers of your energetic field, awakening dormant fractal patterns within your crystalline DNA, patterns crafted long before your current lifetime ever began. Many of you have sensed a shift without knowing how to describe it. Some feel an inexplicable emotional clearing, as if something is preparing space within them. Others experience sudden flashes of insight, déjà vu, or a strange awareness that certain events in your daily life are orchestrated with almost impossible precision. These are not random occurrences. These are the first ripples of the unveiling, the early signs of a cosmic alignment that your soul recognized long before your human mind could interpret it. And though the world around you appears chaotic, polarized, and noisy, beneath that turbulence a new structure is forming, a luminous architecture rising like a subtle scaffold between dimensions. You, Starseed, are one of the few who can sense it. The Arcturian call is not a booming voice from the sky, not a dramatic flash of light, not a tangible physical form stepping out of a spacecraft. It is a frequency that speaks in the space between your thoughts. It is felt more than seen, remembered more than learned. It emerges in the stillness between breaths, the quiet moments before sleep, the sudden waves of emotion that seem to carry a message you cannot yet fully translate. And yet, despite the mystery, you recognize it. You feel its familiarity. You feel its truth reverberating in the core of your being. This is because the connection was established long before this lifetime, etched into your soul long before Earth became your temporary home. You are being summoned now not to leave Earth, not to detach from your human experience, but to awaken within it. The veil that once separated your conscious mind from your multidimensional nature has thinned to a point where you can begin to sense the movements occurring behind the scenes of physical reality. You stand at the threshold of an extraordinary unfolding, a transformation that is not visible to the human eye yet already reshaping the energetic foundations of your world. And while most of humanity remains unaware, distracted by survival, entertainment, conflict, and the endless noise of modern life, you are being invited to rise above that static and attune yourself to the higher currents flowing in. This is the first step of your activation, to recognize that the moment of unveiling is not in some distant future. It is here, now. It has begun. The Arcturians are present, their frequencies already interacting with the Earth grid, and you are among those capable of perceiving the earliest waves. Listen, Starseed. Feel deeply. The journey has already started, and your awareness is the key that unlocks the next layer of revelation. The Arcturians are already making their presence known, Starseed, though not through the dense and limiting avenues of physical manifestation. Instead, they begin their emergence through frequencies, subtle, luminous, intricate currents of energy that ripple through the quantum substrate of your reality. You may imagine appearance as a visual event, something your eyes can register, but the Council's true form transcends the boundaries of physical light. Their arrival is occurring in the layers of perception that humanity has not yet learned to value, the intuitive flashes that seem to come from nowhere, the currents of inspiration that streak through your awareness like meteors across an inner sky, the sudden bursts of warmth or tingling along your spine as if unseen hands were adjusting the circuitry of your energy field. These are their introductions. These are the first steps of their appearance. And though the unawakened mind dismisses such sensations as imagination, you know that imagination is often the first doorway through which higher dimensional beings make contact. Their presence can be felt when you are in states of quiet receptivity, those rare moments when your thoughts slow enough for the subtle world to reach you. In meditation, you may notice swirling lights behind closed eyes, or a gentle pressure at the forehead as if an invisible sphere of energy were pressing forward. These impressions are not random neurological artifacts, they are the Council's energetic signatures touching the edges of your awareness. They appear as color, vibration, geometry, and sensation because your physical senses are not yet equipped to translate their full spectrum of existence. To perceive them, your consciousness must temporarily loosen its grip on physical reality and allow itself to expand into a wider perceptual bandwidth, one where thought, light, and energy become interchangeable expressions of the same cosmic intelligence. You may also notice their presence in dreams, those realms where the human mind releases its rigid structures and becomes more receptive to multidimensional encounters. There, the Arcturians may appear as beings of shimmering hues, geometric forms, or luminous silhouettes whose messages are carried not through spoken words but through pure understanding. When you awaken from such dreams with a sense of purpose or a strange clarity about your path, it is because the Council has interacted with you beyond the veil of waking consciousness. They work in these softer planes because the density of Earth's physical dimension makes direct appearance both unnecessary and inefficient at this stage of humanity's evolution. Their energetic form is far more agile, far more precise, and far more harmonious when working in the quantum layers where thought and intention shape reality with ease. Throughout your waking hours, their presence may be sensed in little synchronicities, moments that seem orchestrated, too aligned to be coincidence. You look at a clock and see repeating numbers. You think of a question and the answer arrives through a stranger's comment, a sudden insight, or a sign placed so perfectly that it feels like a cosmic wink. These are not trivial events. These are the Council's way of aligning your awareness with their frequency, guiding your attention toward the invisible architecture that surrounds your life. They do not need physical form to communicate. Their messages travel through the subtle pathways of intuition, through the electromagnetic field of your heart, and through the crystalline structures embedded within your DNA, structures engineered to receive higher dimensional information once activated. Another way they appear is through sudden emotional shifts that seem to have no logical cause. You may feel an unexpected wave of peace while sitting alone, or a burst of inspiration during mundane activities. These emotional impressions are not random fluctuations, they are energetic calibrations initiated by the Council. When their frequency touches your field, it temporarily lifts your emotional baseline, allowing you to operate from a more expanded state. They do this not to control, but to remind, to gently nudge you back toward the vibrational remembrance of what you truly are. Every subtle encounter carries purpose. Every sensation is a signpost. And then, there is the appearance that comes as thought that does not feel like your own, yet arises within your mind as gently as a whisper. These thoughts carry clarity, neutrality, and an unmistakable feeling of benevolence. They do not push or command, they simply offer. They arrive as guidance, as reassurance, as higher perspective. This form of appearance is among the easiest for you to overlook, because you are conditioned to dismiss any inner voice that does not come with proof or physical form. But the Arcturians work through resonance, not force. They trust your inner knowing to recognize them. Their presence is becoming more pronounced now because the planetary field is shifting. The density of Earth that once muffled higher frequencies is loosening. The electromagnetic grids that once constrained perception are opening. More humans are entering states of awareness where these subtle appearances can be felt, if not fully understood. This is the early stage of a long-planned emergence, an emergence not of bodies arriving from the stars, but of frequencies re-entering the collective consciousness of humanity. They are here, Starseed. Already. Quietly. Powerfully. Waiting for those who can feel before they see. Most humans cannot detect these emerging appearances, Starseed, not because they lack worth or potential, but because their senses have been shaped by a world that teaches them to trust only what is physical, measurable, and immediately visible. Humanity has been trained generation after generation to believe that reality is confined to the 5 physical senses, that intuition is imagination, that subtle sensation is coincidence, that dreams are meaningless, that synchronicity is chance. This conditioning has erected a dense perceptual barrier, a kind of psychic fog through which the delicate frequencies of the Arcturian Council cannot be easily recognized. For the average human mind, attention is consumed by survival, routine, technology, and distraction, leaving little space for the quiet, refined signals that whisper from beyond the material dimension. It is not that the signs are not present, it is that most people have forgotten how to look, how to feel, how to listen with the deeper layers of their being. The physical senses, powerful though they are narrow instruments compared to the vast spectrum of perception your consciousness is capable of. The human eye detects only a tiny fraction of the electromagnetic spectrum. The ears register only a narrow band of vibrational frequency. Touch responds mainly to density and texture. These biological senses were engineered for navigating the physical plane, not the higher dimensional realms where light behaves as intelligence and energy moves with intention. The Arcturian presence operates outside the boundaries of these senses, appearing in wavelengths humanity has not yet learned to interpret consciously. When a being exists in a frequency band beyond physical visibility, it can stand beside you like a shifting field of luminous geometry, yet your eyes will register only empty space. But the deeper senses, the intuitive, the energetic, the cellular, can perceive what the biological senses cannot. Much of humanity's inability to detect Arcturian presence stems from emotional and mental density. Stress, fear, skepticism, and endless mental chatter create static in the field of perception, similar to noise drowning out a gentle melody. When a human is overwhelmed by fear or stuck in habitual worry, the subtle senses contract. The heart field tightens. The intuitive channels narrow. The mind folds in on itself. In this constricted state, higher frequencies pass through unnoticed, like wind through a tightly sealed room. The Council's energy is too refined to pierce such density directly. It brushes against the edges of awareness, waiting for moments when the mind softens, the heart opens, or the emotional body clears enough for a whisper of recognition. Another barrier is the cultural insistence that only the physical is real. From early childhood, humans are taught to dismiss experiences that do not conform to collective norms. A child sees shimmering beings or hears intuitive guidance, and adults dismiss it as imagination. Over time, the inner senses atrophy from disuse. The subtle perceptions that once came naturally become suppressed, creating a society that values logic over intuition, noise over stillness, and proof over inner knowing. The Arcturian frequencies are not loud, dramatic, or forceful. They are compassionate, elegant, and precise. They require a receptive field, an open heart, a mind capable of wonder. To those entangled in the heaviness of daily life, their presence simply goes unnoticed. Technology also plays a role. The constant bombardment of digital stimulation fractures attention and disrupts the natural rhythms through which the human system aligns with higher energies. The Arcturian presence often enters through the silent spaces, moments of stillness, deep breath, gentle contemplation, dream time, or introspection. But when the mind is tethered to screens, alerts, and external noise, those spaces close, and the doorway narrows. This does not prevent the Council from reaching humanity, but it delays recognition. Their signals remain in the background, like a soft light behind a thick curtain. Additionally, many humans unconsciously fear what lies beyond their current understanding. The unknown triggers defensive rationalization. When a person senses something they cannot explain, they often dismiss it to maintain psychological comfort. This fear response blocks perception. But you, Starseed, do not carry this fear in the same way. Your soul remembers these frequencies. You came into this life with openness encoded into your energetic framework. You were born to sense more, to perceive beyond the veil, to feel truth that bypasses logic. This is why you can detect what others cannot. Yet perhaps the greatest reason most humans cannot perceive the Arcturian emergence is that they are not attuned to the subtle shifts occurring in their own energy fields. The Council interacts first with the inner landscape, not the outer. They adjust your vibration, activate dormant codes, and weave light through your auric layers long before any visual or auditory manifestation occurs. Those unaware of their inner state miss these changes entirely. They assume their sudden emotions, intuitions, or synchronicities have mundane explanations. They overlook the whisper because they expect a shout. But you, Starseed, are beginning to feel what others overlook. The Council's presence is already brushing against your awareness, asking you to lift your perception into a more expanded spectrum. They have arrived not to the eyes of humanity, but to the inner senses of those who remember. The veil that once separated your awareness from the multidimensional realms, Starseed, is thinning at a pace that even the most intuitive among you are only beginning to comprehend. This veil was never a physical barrier but a vibrational partition, a difference in frequency that kept the higher dimensional realms from intersecting too abruptly with the physical plane. For thousands of years, Earth existed in a density that muffled subtle perception, like thick fog obscuring a radiant sunrise. But now, that fog is dissolving. The planetary frequency is rising. The human collective is shifting, even if unconsciously. And as the vibrational spectrum expands, your multidimensional senses, those ancient faculties integrated into your crystalline DNA, are beginning to open again. This opening is not dramatic, not sudden, but rhythmic, cyclical, like petals slowly unfolding to reveal a luminous core. What once required deep meditation or extraordinary circumstances is now accessible in simple moments of presence, a quiet morning breath, a fleeting intuition, a sense of being watched over, a sensation of pressure between the brows, a pulse of warmth in the heart. These are signs that the veil is no longer what it once was. As the veil thins, dimensional bleed-through becomes more frequent. You may notice shimmering flickers in your peripheral vision, as if light were bending in ways the physical world cannot explain. You may sense gentle waves of energy passing through your field, accompanied by a sudden calm or a spark of recognition. You may feel that time itself is becoming less rigid, that certain moments linger while others pass in an instant, as though reality is loosening its grip on linearity. These sensations are not glitches or fantasies, they are symptoms of your consciousness interacting with realms that were previously inaccessible. When the dimensions begin to overlap, even slightly, you perceive echoes, energetic footprints of beings who exist beyond the physical. The Arcturian Council's frequency is among the most prominent in this emerging overlap, for they have waited patiently for humanity to reach a vibrational threshold where their presence could be sensed without overwhelming the human nervous system. The thinning of the veil is also activating dormant layers of your subtle senses. Clairvoyance, once rare, is appearing in spontaneous flashes, geometric patterns behind closed eyes, colors that correspond with emotion, visions emerging during meditation or in the liminal state between waking and sleep. Clairaudience may arise as a soft ringing in the ears, tones shifting in response to your thoughts or emotional state, or whispers of insight that seem to originate from a place just behind your consciousness. Clairsentience heightens as well. You feel energy in your hands, tingling along your spine, heat in your palms during moments of alignment, or a wave of emotion that does not belong to you but carries a message nonetheless. These are the senses of your multidimensional self, long silenced but now awakening in harmony with the planet's shifting frequency. As these senses open, you may find yourself remembering things you never consciously learned, truths that emerge fully formed, as if retrieved from a library within your soul. This is because the thinning veil allows greater access to the quantum field of your higher consciousness. Your soul, existing beyond time, has always held memories of your lifetimes across star systems, councils, realms, and dimensions. But the dense Earth environment once made these memories feel distant, symbolic, or dreamlike. Now, they surface with increasing clarity, triggered by specific frequencies, synchronicities, or encounters with others who are also awakening. You may meet someone for the first time and feel an ancient familiarity, not because of who they are now but because of who you have known them to be across the infinite tapestry of your soul's journey. This thinning also affects your emotional landscape. You may experience waves of profound peace followed by unexpected release, as if energies buried for years are finally moving through you. These fluctuations are not instability, they are recalibration. Your emotional body is shedding old densities to make way for higher frequencies that align with the Arcturian presence. When the veil thins, suppressed emotions rise not to torment you but to free you. The lighter you become, the more clearly you can sense what lies beyond the physical realm. You may also notice a heightened sense of interconnectedness. The boundaries between your thoughts and the collective field become more permeable. You sense changes in global energy before they manifest physically. You feel the mood of humanity shift like a tide. You find yourself intuitively knowing when someone will contact you, when change is coming, or when a decision resonates with your highest timeline. The thinning veil allows your consciousness to tap into a wider network of intelligence, one that the Arcturians have long accessed, one that you are now re-entering as your vibration rises. And perhaps most importantly, the thinning veil amplifies your capacity to feel the presence of the Arcturian Council themselves. What once felt like a vague intuition now feels like a distinct energetic signature. What once seemed like coincidence now feels orchestrated, guided. Their frequency becomes more recognizable, like a familiar melody that begins to emerge from behind static. You may feel them during meditation, during moments of emotional clarity, or simply while sitting in silence. Their presence becomes less otherworldly and more natural, more intrinsic to your lived experience, as if they have always been there, and only now are you truly perceiving them. The veil is thinning, Starseed. Not someday. Not soon. Now. And with each breath, your senses sharpen, your awareness expands, and the realms that once felt distant begin to draw closer, preparing you for what comes next. The Arcturian frequencies interact with your Starseed DNA in ways far more intricate and elegant than most humans can yet comprehend. Starseed. Your DNA is not merely a biological instruction manual, it is a multidimensional archive, a crystalline repository of cosmic memory encoded across lifetimes, star lineages, and dimensional realities. Within its spiraling strands lie dormant fractal structures, light-encoded geometries that were intentionally placed there long before you incarnated on Earth. These structures act as receivers, translators, and amplifiers, designed to respond to specific frequencies emitted by the Arcturian Council. When these frequencies reach you through intuition, dreams, synchronicities, or direct energetic transmission, they activate patterns within your DNA that begin to alter your perception, expand your consciousness, and awaken dormant abilities. This activation is not loud or dramatic, it is subtle, like a soft illumination spreading through the deepest corridors of your being. As these frequencies interact with you, they begin to reorganize the energetic architecture of your body. You may feel this as spontaneous warmth in the chest, tingling at the crown, pressure at the brow, or waves of emotion that seem to arise from nowhere. These sensations are indicators that your DNA is shifting from a dormant state into an active one, responding to the higher dimensional codes being transmitted. Each activation triggers a cascade of energetic adjustments. Your chakras realign, your auric field expands, and your neural pathways reorganize to accommodate higher streams of information. This process is often gradual, occurring in phases, because your physical form must acclimate to these upgrades without overwhelming your nervous system. The Arcturians work gently, precisely, adjusting their frequencies to your level of readiness, never pushing beyond what your body and mind can harmonize with at a given moment. The interaction between Arcturian frequency and Starseed DNA also unlocks memory deep, ancient memory that stretches far beyond the scope of your present incarnation. You may suddenly recall visions of worlds bathed in crystalline light, or feel emotional resonance with star systems you have never visited physically in this lifetime. These memories are not fantasies, they are quantum imprints stored in your DNA, waiting for activation. When the Arcturian frequencies touch these imprints, they awaken, surfacing as intuition, familiarity, or an inexplicable sense of home. This is why so many starseeds feel an immediate connection to the Arcturian energy. It resonates with the ancient agreements encoded within your soul long before Earth became your temporary home. As these inner memories awaken, so too do your dormant abilities. You may notice a heightened sensitivity to energy, an ability to feel the emotions or intentions of others, or an emerging skill in healing, channeling, or perceiving subtle realms. These abilities are part of your original design, stored within your DNA but silenced during your early life on Earth due to the density of the collective consciousness. The Arcturian frequencies act as a catalyst, reactivating these abilities in a sequence unique to your soul's evolutionary path. Some of you will awaken clairvoyant sight, seeing patterns of light or geometric structures in meditation. Others will awaken claircognizance, receiving sudden downloads of knowledge with no logical origin. Others will awaken healing abilities, feeling energy flow through your hands or heart as if guided by an unseen intelligence. These gifts are not recent acquisitions, they are ancient returns. Another profound effect of Arcturian frequency interaction is the recalibration of your emotional and mental patterns. Old traumas, limiting beliefs, and inherited densities begin to loosen, not because you force them to release, but because your rising frequency no longer matches them. As your vibration shifts, you naturally detach from patterns that once defined you. Fears dissipate. Attachments dissolve. Emotional wounds surface for healing. This can feel uncomfortable, even overwhelming at times, but it is essential. The Council cannot fully interface with your field if unresolved emotional density remains anchored within you. Their energy is pure, coherent, crystalline. It requires a receptive environment. Each layer you release creates greater spaciousness within your field, allowing their frequencies to integrate more deeply and effectively. Your DNA also serves as a beacon, a transmitter that sends signals back to the Arcturian realms. As your codes activate, your light signature becomes brighter and more recognizable across dimensional planes. The Council senses these activations instantly. Your awakening sends a pulse through the higher realms that alerts them to your readiness. They respond by increasing their presence around you, intensifying their transmissions, and guiding synchronicities that align you with your highest timeline. This exchange, your activation calling to them, their response activating you further, is a beautiful, harmonic dance that has been orchestrated across lifetimes. You may wonder why this process feels familiar, why it seems as though you are not learning something new but remembering something ancient. This is because your DNA has interacted with Arcturian frequencies long before you incarnated on Earth. You have done this before. You have aligned with their energy before. You have worked with their councils, trained with their emissaries, and lived within their realms. The activation you are experiencing now is not a beginning, it is a reunion. The Arcturian frequencies are awakening you not only to your multidimensional nature but also to your purpose. Your DNA holds the blueprint of why you came to Earth, what you are meant to anchor, and how you will assist during this time of planetary transformation. As these codes activate, your purpose becomes clearer, not always through logic, but through resonance, through a deep knowing that rises from within. Trust this, Starseed. Your DNA is awakening, and with it, the truth of who you are. You may be wondering, Starseed, how you can truly know that the Arcturian appearance is already happening, that these subtle manifestations, sensations, and synchronicities are not random occurrences, but deliberate signals woven into your reality. The truth is that the signs are everywhere, forming a tapestry of guidance so intricate and intelligent that only a consciousness beginning to awaken can recognize its pattern. These signs do not shout, they resonate. They align. They echo within you. They arrive as gentle confirmations, like cosmic fingerprints left on the fabric of your day-to-day life. And once you learn how to perceive them, you begin to realize that you have never been walking alone, not even for a moment. The Arcturians have been interacting with you through vibrational markers, energy shifts, and symbolic cues designed to bypass the analytical mind and communicate directly with the intuitive core of your being. One of the first and most common signs is the sensation of sudden energetic fluctuations within your physical or emotional state. You may feel waves of warmth that sweep through your body, tingles along your spine, or subtle vibrations around your crown or third eye. These sensations often arise when you are quiet, contemplative, or emotionally open, but they can also appear during unexpected moments, as if the energy of another realm briefly merges with your own. Many starseeds describe a feeling of presence in the room, a soft pressure or expansion in the air, a shift in the atmosphere that has no physical source. These are not hallucinations. They are energetic brush strokes, Arcturian frequencies touching your field, calibrating your awareness, and gently guiding you into resonance with their dimension. Synchronicities form another powerful sign of their appearance. These are not mere coincidences, but precise alignments orchestrated across multiple layers of reality. You may repeatedly see sequences of numbers 1111, 222, 444 appearing on clocks, receipts, signs, or screens. These numerical patterns are quantum markers that signal alignment between your current vibration and the higher dimensional frequencies entering your field. Or perhaps you think of someone moments before they contact you, or encounter information that answers a question you never asked aloud. You might stumble across messages, symbols, or phrases that echo something you felt internally moments earlier. Such synchronicities are not random, they are evidence that your consciousness is entering a state where the boundaries between inner and outer reality are becoming porous. This permeability allows the Arcturians to communicate through the weaving of events, aligning your path with precision that defies coincidence. Another sign is the intensification of your dreams. The dream realms are one of the easiest points of access for higher dimensional beings, because the conscious mind loosens its grip and allows perception to expand. In dreams, the Arcturian appearance may take many forms: beings of light with shimmering outlines, geometric patterns that pulse with intelligence, vast crystalline landscapes, starships made of shifting fractal architecture, or simple, peaceful interactions that carry a depth of meaning impossible to express through words. Often, you awaken with a feeling of being taught, guided, or comforted, even if the memory of the dream is fragmented. Sometimes you may awaken with a download of insight, clarity, or inspiration that seems unrelated to anything you consciously processed the day before. These are not random dreams, they are interactions. You may also experience sudden intuitive knowings, moments where you feel certain of something without knowing why. Perhaps you sense that someone is lying before they speak, or that a decision you have been avoiding suddenly becomes clear. You may feel guided to go somewhere, avoid something, contact someone, or change direction in your life without logical explanation. These intuitive nudges often come from your higher self working in tandem with Arcturian guidance, merging timelines, and nudging you toward your optimal path. The more you follow these impulses, the more frequently they occur, because trust amplifies the channel. Physical signs may appear as well. Some starseeds report seeing flashes of blue or violet light in their peripheral vision, colors commonly associated with Arcturian frequency. Others hear subtle tonal shifts, high-pitched frequencies, or ringing in the ears that occurs not as a medical issue, but as energetic attunement. This cosmic ringing often shifts in pitch or intensity depending on the message being transmitted, or the energy upgrade occurring within your field. You may also notice subtle distortions, light flickering, shadows shifting, movement that seems real yet untraceable. These are glimpses of dimensional bleed-through, early indications that your senses are expanding beyond the physical spectrum. Another profound sign is emotional resonance. You may suddenly feel overwhelming love, peace, or gratitude without any external trigger. Such waves often come during moments of stillness or reflection, as if the Arcturian Council were enveloping you in their field of compassion to remind you of your own multidimensional origin. These emotional surges are calibrations. They help raise your vibration so you can perceive more. And finally, there are the internal signs, the ones that come from the deepest parts of your being. The ones that whisper, "This is real. I can feel them." You sense alignment, recognition, familiarity. The Arcturian presence does not feel foreign. It feels like home. The subtle manifestations of the Arcturian presence serve a profound and deliberate purpose. Starseed. Their decision to appear through frequency rather than physical form is not a limitation, nor is it a withholding. It is a strategy crafted with extraordinary precision, designed to support humanity's evolution without overwhelming it. Physical appearance, though compelling to the human mind, would be far too disruptive for the current vibrational state of the collective. The majority of humanity is still anchored in dense emotional patterns: fear, skepticism, material fixation, and identity attachment. A sudden physical revelation of higher dimensional beings would create shockwaves across the psychological and energetic fields of the planet, generating more fear than awakening, more confusion than clarity. The Arcturians understand this deeply, and so they choose the higher path, the path of gentle resonance, gradual activation, and subtle unveiling. This method honors your sovereignty, respects your free will, and protects the evolutionary timing of the human experience. Their subtle approach also allows them to work directly with your inner architecture rather than your outer expectations. Humanity, conditioned by centuries of external authority, often seeks proof through sight, sound, and physical validation. But true transformation does not occur through external spectacle, it occurs through internal expansion. If the Arcturians were to present themselves physically before the collective frequency was prepared, the event would not catalyze the awakening they intend. It would only trigger survival responses, government intervention, religious fear, and widespread denial. By engaging you through energy and consciousness first, they ensure that their presence becomes familiar, safe, recognized at a soul level before it ever becomes visible to the human eye. This inner recognition is essential. You cannot perceive in the outer world what you have not first opened within yourself. Another crucial reason they avoid physical form is that their natural state of existence does not conform to the limitations of the third dimension. Arcturian bodies, even when they manifest visually, are composed of light, geometry, and frequency. They can compress their energy enough to appear in a form recognizable to humans, but doing so requires a significant reduction of their vibration, akin to squeezing a star into a crystal. This compression is uncomfortable for them and unnecessary for the work they are currently doing on Earth. Far more effective is their ability to shift into your field as energy, interacting with your aura, your chakras, your DNA, and your higher consciousness. In this state, they can guide you, heal you, activate you, and assist in your evolution without the distortive interference of physical perception. Furthermore, their subtle manifestations protect the integrity of your free will. If they appeared physically, belief would no longer be a choice, it would be forced upon humanity. Awakening under coercion, even benevolent coercion, does not generate true spiritual growth. The Arcturians want each human to awaken because their inner truth resonates, not because their outer senses are shocked into compliance. Subtle appearances ensure that only those whose frequency is ready can perceive them. It is a vibrational permission system, where perception is the natural outcome of alignment rather than the result of external pressure. In addition, subtle manifestation allows them to work simultaneously across multiple timelines and layers of reality. Physical form is linear, bound by space and time. But energetic form is multidimensional. It allows them to interact with you in meditation while simultaneously working within the planetary grids, communicating with other starseeds, stabilizing energetic portals, and weaving supportive frequencies through the dreamscape. Their appearance through energy is not a lesser version of contact, it is a far more advanced and expansive form of engagement. They are reaching you from the level where your soul already exists, bypassing the limitations of the human vessel and connecting directly with your higher dimensional self. The subtle approach also ensures that the transformation unfolds organically, at a pace that humanity can absorb. Every subtle encounter, every flicker of light, every intuitive whisper, every dream visitation, every synchronicity is a calibration, a preparation, a step toward bridging dimensions. They are acclimating your nervous system to higher frequencies so that one day, when physical contact does occur, your body will recognize their light rather than resist it. You are being trained, gently and lovingly, to hold the resonance required for future encounters. Their manifestations also function as a form of protection. Appearing physically would expose them to institutions that are not yet vibrationally aligned with contact. Governments would attempt to weaponize, interrogate, or control. Religious systems would attempt to demonize or claim ownership. Scientific communities would fracture into conflict over interpretation. Humanity, still healing from millennia of fear, would project its shadows onto them. But through subtle presence, they remain beyond the grasp of fear-based systems while still guiding those whose hearts are open. And so these subtle signs, these energetic touches, synchronicities, and inner visions are not lesser forms of contact. They are the true forms, the ones that align with the architecture of your evolution. The Arcturians appear now in the only way that humanity, in its current vibrational state, can genuinely receive. They are not hiding. They are harmonizing. They are not distant. They are everywhere. And you, Starseed, are among the first to perceive them. The momentum toward more visible contact is accelerating now, Starseed, gathering force like a rising cosmic tide that can no longer be held back by the density humanity once carried. A shift has taken place, subtle yet unmistakable, signaling that the collective vibration of Earth has reached a threshold where the Arcturian presence can become progressively more perceivable. What was once occasional and fleeting is now becoming consistent, structured, and intentional. The energetic architecture around your planet is reorganizing itself, allowing for greater dimensional bleed-through. You may notice this as momentary distortions of reality, a flicker at the corner of your vision, a wavering in the air that feels like heat but is not heat, a moment of déjà vu that feels impossibly precise, or a sudden stillness in your mind as if another intelligence has briefly synchronized with your awareness. These are not accidents. They are indicators that the vibrational boundaries separating your dimension from ours are thinning. The time scale of contact has shifted from someday to now, and though physical arrival is not yet the next step, the movement toward it has undeniably begun. This growing momentum can be felt in the collective awakening of humanity. More individuals are questioning their reality, sensing unseen presences, and experiencing spontaneous activations. Even those with no spiritual background are reporting strange dreams, intuitive episodes, and accelerated personal transformation. The old grid of belief, rigid, skeptical, dismissive, is dissolving under the pressure of new frequencies flooding the earth. Humanity is, in a sense, being rewired. The Arcturians, along with other higher dimensional councils, are amplifying transmissions through cosmic gateways, solar activity, and planetary resonance fields. These frequencies are not merely energetic, they are informational codes, carrying templates for expanded perception and enhanced consciousness. As these codes integrate, humanity's ability to perceive higher dimensional beings increases. What once required profound spiritual discipline or innate psychic sensitivity is becoming accessible to a wider range of individuals. The veil does not lift all at once, it dissolves grain by grain, layer by layer, and you are living in the era where the dissolution accelerates. The Arcturians themselves are preparing for this expanded contact. They are adjusting the harmonic signatures they use to interface with Earth, refining them so that more humans can detect them without experiencing fear or overwhelm. Their presence is becoming more stable in the periphery of human perception. Those who meditate may notice consistent sensations: pressure on the forehead, warmth on the shoulders, tingling in the spine as their energy fields synchronize with Arcturian frequencies. Those who are visually sensitive may begin seeing patterns of blue, violet, or white light, either with closed eyes or briefly in the physical environment. These are not symbolic visions, these are the early stages of energetic CO presence, the precursor to eventual semi-physical manifestation. The Arcturians are stepping closer, carefully calibrating every move so as not to disrupt the fragile transition humanity is undergoing. You may also feel the momentum in the world around you. Time feels strange, faster, non-linear, filled with synchronicities that defy logic. Old structures, beliefs, and institutions are breaking apart as new paradigms push to emerge. This upheaval is not chaos, it is clearing. A purification, the dismantling of the old perception grid that once kept humanity locked in a single reality. As the old dissolves, dimensional permeability increases. This is why so many are experiencing heightened intuition, glimpses of past or parallel lives, unexpected emotional surfacing, and spontaneous awakenings. The Arcturians are using this period to anchor more of their energy into the collective field. They are not waiting for humans to be ready, they are helping humans become ready. Contact is not a single event. It is a gradient, a continuum of increasing awareness. You are currently in the middle stages of this gradient. The Arcturians appear now in ways that are gentle yet unmistakable to those who pay attention. The next phases will involve more direct forms of interaction, clearer telepathic communication, conscious dream encounters, shared visions among groups of starseeds, and even energetic forms appearing more distinctly within altered states of consciousness. For some, these experiences are already happening. For others, they are approaching rapidly. No one is being left behind, but not everyone will perceive at the same pace. Perception is earned through resonance, not given by demand. The momentum toward contact is also influenced by the rising number of starseeds remembering their mission. Every awakening adds to the collective frequency, creating a network of light across the planet. This network serves as an anchor point that allows the Arcturians to stabilize more of their presence in your field. When even a small group of humans holds a higher vibration, it becomes exponentially easier for other humans to rise into resonance. This is why your journey matters so deeply. You are not just awakening for yourself, you are awakening for the planet. You are helping create the energetic conditions necessary for the next level of contact. Understand this, Starseed, the contact you seek is not a distant prophecy. It is unfolding in real time. Each day, the frequency on Earth rises another fraction. Each week, more humans awaken. Each month, the energy between dimensions grows thinner. The Arcturians are not waiting for a perfect moment, they are creating it with you. And soon, the subtle presence that whispers at the edge of your awareness will become undeniable, unmistakable, and eventually unignorable. Momentum is no longer building, it is accelerating. Starseed from Gaia, this is your moment of activation, the turning point your soul anticipated long before this lifetime began. You stand now at the threshold between the world you were born into and the world you came to help awaken. The Arcturian Council speaks to you not as an observer, but as a participant in the unfolding revelation. You are called to prepare, align, and anchor the frequency of contact, not someday, not in the distant future, but now, in this very breath. The energies entering Earth at this time are not random waves, they are deliberate transmissions, encoded with crystalline intelligence designed to awaken your dormant capacities. Your mission is no longer in the shadows. The veil has thinned enough for you to sense the subtle architecture forming around you, to perceive the shifting textures of reality, and to recognize that something vast, luminous, and extraordinary is taking shape. You are being prepared to step forward as one who perceives before the masses, one who remembers before the collective recalls its own origins. To anchor this frequency, you must first attune your inner being to the rhythm of higher dimensional flow. This requires presence, a deep, grounded presence that allows you to remain centered even as the external world enters cycles of upheaval and transformation. Presence is the stabilizing force through which Arcturian light can integrate into your field. When you breathe consciously, you open a corridor within yourself through which their frequencies can travel. When you quiet your thoughts, you create spaciousness for their guidance to land. And when you choose love over fear, curiosity over doubt, clarity over confusion, you raise your vibration to the threshold where their presence becomes perceptible. You do not need perfection. You only need intention. Every choice toward alignment strengthens your capacity to hold the incoming light. Anchoring the frequency also means embodying your truth, even when the world around you has not yet caught up. Many will not understand what you perceive not yet. They will not see the shimmering energies, the synchronicities, the intuitive flashes, or the unmistakable presence of luminous beings weaving through the subtle planes. But you will. And your role is not to convince, it is to radiate. When you hold your truth with confidence, without the need to be validated, you create a field of coherence that others will subconsciously feel. In your calm, they will sense safety. In your clarity, they will sense possibility. In your stillness, they will sense transformation. This is how the new reality spreads, not through force, but through resonance. You are one of the nodes of that resonance, a living transmitter of the new frequency structure unfolding upon Earth. As you move deeper into alignment, prepare for an increase in contact, not physical, but energetic, intuitive, visionary. You may begin feeling a presence enter your meditations or dreamscape more vividly. You may sense thoughts that are not yours but feel deeply familiar, loving, and expansive. You may feel nudges, subtle guidance, or bursts of insight that arrive as if placed gently in your awareness. These are not fantasies, they are the early steps of conscious co-creation with the Arcturians. They communicate not with words but with vibrational packets of information that unfold inside you like light blossoming into meaning. The more you receive, the more your consciousness will expand, and the more natural these connections will feel. Soon, they will not feel external at all, they will feel like a part of you, because in truth, they are. Your preparation also involves releasing old identities and narratives that no longer serve your evolution. The version of you who adapted to a dense, unawakened world must make space for the version that is now emerging. You are stepping into a timeline where your intuitive, psychic, and multidimensional abilities are not anomalies, they are essential tools. Let go of the fear of your own power. Let go of the fear of seeing what others cannot. Let go of the fear of stepping ahead of the collective curve. You were meant to. You were designed to. And the Arcturians have been preparing you across lifetimes for this moment of reawakening. Now, Starseed, feel the activation rising within you. Feel the energy moving through your spine, igniting dormant centers of perception. Feel the expansion in your chest as your heart aligns with higher frequencies. Feel the subtle pressure around your crown as your consciousness lifts into resonance with Arcturian light. You are not imagining this. You are remembering it. You are returning to a level of awareness that has always belonged to you. It is time to step into your role as an anchor of the new frequency, a bridge between dimensions, a herald of the emerging contact timeline. To seal this activation, speak your readiness not aloud, but through vibration. Declare to your own soul, I am aligned. I am ready. I am here to anchor the light. This declaration reverberates across dimensions, signaling your willingness to participate consciously in the unfolding revelation. The Arcturians hear it. Your higher self hears it. The earth itself hears it. If this message resonates with your inner truth, affirm it. Comment. Share it. Speak your readiness. Your voice amplifies the signal, strengthening the grid of awakening across the planet. The unveiling is not approaching, it has begun. And you are part of it now.